I'm stupid.
Busy boy. You're a busy boy.
And then I go back to work at my regular job during the week. Taking after my dad, working 2 jobs. Speaking of my dad, this last song I'm going to play is on an album called Testing for Rust. And I wrote this song for my father shortly after he passed away in 2010. Without question, my dad was definitely the hardest working man I've ever met in my life. He often did work 2 jobs. And he did a lot of, he was a bricklayer by trade, so he did a lot of things like he'd come home from work and then he'd go and fix somebody's chimney or fix cracks in their basement foundation or something like that and make a little extra money on the side. And my dad grew up on a farm in Elba, New York, and it was an onion farm, and when he was in 8th grade he quit school so he could help his family by working on the farm. He was one of 10 children. And when he was old enough to do so, he joined the Navy and served in World War II. And after he was discharged when the war was over, he actually met my mom at a wedding, and she lived in the city, and he was this country boy, and they started dating each other, and they got married. And at one point in their marriage, they decided to move to Sloan. And my brother told me this recently. My dad didn't have his union papers in order to be a bricklayer. So he couldn't get work as a bricklayer when he moved to Buffalo. So he did what he had to do. He went and took a job as a janitor at a Wonder Bread factory. And for 25 years he worked in that factory. And the thing I remembered most about him when I eulogized him at his funeral was that he never missed a single day of work. He never called in sick. He never used car trouble as an excuse. If his car wouldn't start, he would call a coworker to come pick him up. And I remember a couple of occasions where he actually took my bicycle to work, and a couple of times when he walked to work because he couldn't get a hold of somebody. And he used to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the plant that he worked at was not in the greatest neighborhood. But he did what he had to do to keep a roof over our head and food on the table. And he often told us when we were growing up, he said, if you want something in life, you got to get up off your ass and go out and work for it. I'm not just going to hand things to you. And he instilled an incredible work ethic. My brother and my sisters and I all have had good work ethics throughout our life. My dad, I don't think he really cared what we did for a living, as long as we were happy doing what we were doing and able to fend for ourselves and keep a roof and food on the table. And I think the biggest lesson he taught us was to, when you do a job, if somebody asks you to do something, show up on time, do the job right, do it with honesty, do it with integrity, and if you make a mistake, take accountability for it.
Yes. Absolutely.